Hello, everybody. I'm George from Ireland, and this is about the drone attacks on Cyprus over the last few days. So, the Royal Air Force shot down at least two drones incoming. Supposedly, the debris has been recovered and identified as Shahid drones. Now, Iran invented these Shahid drones. What would the target on Cyprus be? Most obviously, RAF Akrotiri, RAF Dakelia, hope I pronounced this correctly, the two British sovereign base areas. So since Cyprus became independent in 1960, the United Kingdom has had these bases which it controls totally and in perpetuity. The Cypriot government's got no say whatsoever over what happens there, and Cyprus is not in NATO, not a military ally of the United Kingdom. So there's a theory it was firing at these two British bases. But hang about, the United Kingdom proclaimed very clearly and loudly that it would not participate directly or indirectly in this war against Iran. And Sir Keir Starmer, to give him his due, he refused permission for the United States Air Force to use RAF Fairford or RAF Diego Garcia or anywhere else for launching attacks on the Islamic Republic of Iran. So why on earth would Iran do that? It just doesn't stack up. It just doesn't serve their interests. Qui bono. So there is another theory that somebody else other than the Islamic Republic of Iran fired those at the British bases to provoke the United Kingdom and make the UK believe that actually it simply had to retaliate against Iran to bring them in on the side of Israel and the United States. So I don't know what happened. I don't know who fired them, because they're beyond the range of Shahid drones, these British bases in Cyprus. And Iran does not need more enemies. So it doesn't withstand a moment's scrutiny. They didn't fire them. There's another theory that it's Hezbollah in Lebanon, this Shia militia, which is pro-Iranian. They fired them, and of course, they're quite close to Cyprus. They're only, is it like 150 kilometers from Cyprus or something like that? So I don't know. And obviously, President Christolides of Cyprus is not happy about this, nor is the Prime Minister, saying, you see, this is the disadvantage of the British bases there, because Cyprus gets fired at. They could easily hit Cyprus properly and kill people. Or indeed, even the RAF shoots them down, the debris falls on the rest of Cyprus and kills people and so forth. There could even be a seaborne invasion of Cyprus to get at those RAF bases. And the invaders might not land in the RAF bases. They might land in Cyprus proper. And so on. But there is another theory. Was it Israel that they could have captured these Shahid drones intact in their invasion of Lebanon recently, or, you know, in Syria, because they stole even more of Syria, like about a year ago. They also have some of their allies in Syria, could have purchased them on the black market. The Ukrainians have captured some Shahid drones intact in Ukraine, you know, on land, because when they're their counteroffensives against Russia. And another point is, okay, they're Iranian design, but they could have been manufactured in Russia, because since the start of the Russo-Ukrainian war, Iran and Russia have a very cordial relationship, and the Iranians have helped the Russians establish a Shahid drone factory in Russia. So we don't know the provenance of these drones. So it could be another party was doing that, as I say, to goad the United Kingdom into getting into this war, which otherwise it was going to stand aloof from. There are other possibilities. Was it a US naval ship in Cyprus they're firing at? The Shahid drones are not that accurate, and got shot down, or an Israeli warship in the Eastern Mediterranean. We just don't know. So the plot thickens. And so the RAF is there, can shoot down these Shahid drones. Unfortunately, nobody was killed or injured. But, you know, they don't have very much in terms of munitions. Why would the Iranians waste it? It wasn't an economic target. There was some method to their madness in, it appears, firing at economic targets in the Arabian Gulf. So indeed, that's what they're doing, rather than missing all the time. It's happening so often. Methinks that this is their stratagem, to make the world's economy scream, so people sort of plead for mercy. Okay, we've got to stop the war, because, you know, Qatar Airways, Emirates, Etihad, they don't only go bust. Not enough oil and gas is getting through. Is bad even for China. You put the Iranians in a very dangerous position. The Iranian leaders, such as the left, have got nothing left to lose. So the Samson option, they may as well collapse the temple down on their heads, because at least they're going to kill their enemies too. This is very, very unwise. A bit like Putin saying about cornering a rat. Don't corner a rat. Otherwise, it's got nothing left but to go all out for you. You've got to give it an escape route. So an off-ramp for the Iranians. At the moment, Donald J. Trump says He's more than satisfied with where the war is going on for 5 weeks. Then Pete Hegseth, his defense secretary, said it's going to go on for 8 weeks. How can you believe these two liars? Hegseth, who was found to have sexually molested so many women when he was in the military. But of course, he's there for women's rights. They're blowing up those little girls in that primary school in Iran for women's rights. Anyway, do what you can to stop the war, this insane, illegal, needless war. All these people dying completely unnecessarily. Do you remember how in June last year, Donald J. Trump assured us that the Iranian nuclear weapons program, if there ever was one, had been utterly annihilated? And then he began this war on the 20th of February to utterly annihilate the Iranian nuclear weapons program, which he'd utterly annihilated the year before. So that's how dishonest it is. Mission creep is about regime change. It's not about regime change. Then it is about regime change, and then it's not. So you don't know what to believe from day to day. He's utterly erratic and unpredictable. So there's no clear aim. Therefore, there's no achievable aim. And they can keep changing. And the Iranians say, we could give them absolutely everything. They would still demand more. They'd still say we're a threat. Well, they're a threat. Is the Israelis, which are bombing countries all over the world, invading countries all over the world, Israelis openly talking about, annexing the land of Lebanon, of Syria, of Iraq, of Egypt, of Jordan, of everywhere else. Wow. It's very, very worrisome indeed. All right. Anyway, do what you can to work for peace.